Hello everyone, my name is Mark Morris. This is my 1964 Chevy C10. This is my 1964 Chevy C10. I've had it for about 12 years. Probably a little longer. I picked it up, it was on the side of US 23, had a for sale sign in it, and it just looked like an old farm truck. All original, had the skinny wheels on it, tires. I think they were original tires, they were really old looking. Had the original 283 V8, had the 4-speed, the old granny gear in it, the first gear. Over the years I've slowly started to change things. When I first got it on the road we had it all with the original motor in it and stuff, and it's got a 327 in it now that came out of my father-in-law's 63 split window vet. Ended up putting an engine in it for my wife's uncle that bought that car from him when he passed away, and just freshened it up. Put the ram's horns exhaust because I was sick of header leaks all the time, but I did put cutouts on it. You can see them down in the wheel well there, so it makes a little bit of noise. Not quite as loud as the Loud and Ugly truck, but gets up there pretty good. I put a Muncie 4-speed out of a passenger car in it, so I had to relocate the shifter arm a little bit forward so it would hit the bench seat. It's got a 373 posi rear end, original style 12-bolt rear end, but it's all gone through, new axles with 5-lug. Lowered the front with the springs and the spindles, rebuilt everything there. Whole underneath, as we'll show you in a little bit on the lift, it's all brand new. Everything's been gone through. We left the original paint on it. These fenders were the only thing. I found some fenders that were blue that were the ones that were on it were really shot. So tried to make them look kind of old. They match this color, but not this color. This is probably more all original here. The back and the sides and the hood. The roof definitely is original. And it's not clear coated. I just used some 3M finesse and buffed the whole thing out over top of the rust and everything, and everyone thinks it's clear coated, but it's got a cool look. It kind of probably needs to be rebuffed this year, and we might do that, make it look a little shinier. Interior I pretty much left original. I just patched up where there was major rust and kind of made everything look old and original the way it was. And we've just had a blast with this truck. We use it to go pick up wood at Home Depot, or if we got to run and get something. It's just like when I retire, I want it to be my daily driver, just going around and getting stuff. The engine's kind of getting old. It leaks a little oil and stuff. I'm going to try to fix that this year with a new pan, but we may end up putting a whole different engine and trans in it later. I kind of like an overdrive so I could cruise it on the highway, and we drive these things to Norwalk and down to Dragway 42 every year, and it kind of gets old listening to it rev above 3,000 on the freeway. Other than that, she's a great truck, and I plan on probably keeping this one forever. You know, I don't really think that I'd be happy if I ever sold it. Underneath, you know, everything's pretty nice. Got the lowered suspension that was all done, and everything cleaned up and painted. New drive shaft. Got the Muncie 4-speed with the old Hurst Competition Plus shifter in it, where you can see I had to extend it and then counterweight it because it's so far forward it wants to pop out of 4th gear when you're cruising. Got custom made exhaust that I made for it. Cutouts on. I converted it over to power steering in the front, so it's got power steering now, power brakes. So it runs and drives pretty much way better than it did as a stock old farm truck. Used to be kind of hard to drive it around on the weekends. I'd get kind of tired of it by the end of the weekend driving it. But now with the power steering, the power brakes, and the newer trans in there, that's not the old granny gear where I can actually use 1st gear. It's a lot more fun to drive. You've probably been around enough to see this is the shop. This is our 3rd house since me and my wife were married, and I had a lift in the 2nd house. We rented a farmhouse for a couple of years and didn't have it. I had to have another lift. It's just after you've had one, it's too hard to work on things without it. And I'm not getting any younger. I've worked at Ford Motor Company my whole life in the dynamometer lab, testing newer style engines for all the upcoming stuff. Got 30 years this August, thinking about retiring. If they throw me an offer, I'm probably out of there. And then I'll be setting up shop out here, working on things for our own, probably doing some jobs that I got a few people that want some stuff finished up. And we're gonna have a blast. I mean, my wife's truck, she's waiting. She's dying to get that thing on the road, so that'll be a cool project to start next too. Yeah, that's it.